What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show, and we're finally back to podcasting. We ended up doing a little bit of a break there. We're going to call the last few episodes Season 1, maybe Season 0, kind of like
-1.
Trying to test out the format and make sure that we enjoyed what we were doing and that we were capable of recording all this stuff. But now we're professionalizing things a little bit for the beginning of either Season 1 or Season 2, depending on how we decide to call the last one. And we've still got Whitney here, and we've got Josh up in Colorado. He's on screen somewhere. He's not in the office with us, though he's here in spirit.
It's like the Brady Bunch. He's either below us or above us, to the side.
And we're going to do things a little bit different today. It's going to be a little bit non-traditional since we are starting this on a new channel. It's still Bottom Sprocket, but we decided to move it out to its own place so that it could go out to pasture and then live a good life. And we're going to start off with just general basic introductions today and all that fun stuff for those folks out there who may have never heard of us before, which would be interesting. This is your first time seeing any of our faces, let us know down below or in whatever podcast form you're listening to this
Shout it into the void as you sit in traffic.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure
Someone will hear you.
all of the people around you would love that. And speaking of which, Josh, where can everybody find this? Because I'm a weirdo and I watch all of my podcasts on YouTube.
You're weird.
Yep, that's totally an option, especially if you have like a YouTube Premium or something like that, so you can play it without having the video open. But every podcast platform, so Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartMedia has podcasts. The hosting platform that we put this on actually has one as well. It's Podbean. So if you download their app, you can listen to it there, or the website. It's going to be on screen now. I'll show it to you because I can't remember it.
Using magic.
Sweet. So literally everywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us, which means that we're coming for you. We're hunting you down. Wherever you're listening, we will find you, or you will find us. Depends on how you want to look at it. And today we're gonna have fun. We're gonna keep it nice and light, probably a little bit shorter, and just reintroduce everybody to you lot. So starting things off, I feel like we probably ought to hand it over to Whitney for your self-intro here. Where can people find, because we all have our own various outlets, where can people find your stuff? What do you do? What do you ride? What do you like?
We are a trifecta, right?
Yes, we are.
We're pooling together a prism of motorcycle enthusiasm. I'm Whitney. You can find my YouTube channel at Whitney Does. I also have a separate esoteric podcast where we talk a lot about religion and the fall and rise of humanity. That's the Megan and Whitney Show. And I met Jake and Josh through working at Yammy Noob however many years ago. 4 years ago?
Something like that, yeah.
Something. It was like pandemic time.
It was pandemic times. Those were interesting days.
And
halcyon days, I would say.
We've ridden 420,000 bikes together.
Something like that, yeah.
We've traveled, and now here we are. And now you live like just a short hop down the toll road from me. So hell yeah.
Yeah. And with that, Josh, tell the people who you is.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Josh. I also met this bunch at Yammy Noob. And now I'm in Colorado. So I left Austin where we were living, and I moved up here and work at G-Force Power Sports. It's a big multi-brand dealership in Lakewood, Colorado. Or it's in Denver, but technically Lakewood. I'm the marketing manager there, so I run all of our anything that you could loosely describe as marketing or too technical for everyone there at the dealership. Those are my jobs. So our digital marketing, we do email marketing, text marketing, website, also any content creation, social media and stuff like that. So I wear a lot of hats there. And I also work for a company, Ride Adventures, now. So if you want to go touring motorcycles, hit me up about that, because they're taking people to Baja, Vietnam, like all kinds of crazy places around the world. And I help them with some e-commerce conversion stuff. But I ride a ton. So I have access to a rental fleet here in Colorado that I get to ride when I want to, that has dirt bikes and adventure bikes and other street bikes and stuff like that, as well as my own 3 motorcycles. I'm a big Suzuki fan, so I have an SV650. I have a 1982 GS 1100E, and I just bought a new 2023 GSX 8S, which I bought a month and a half ago, and I've already got a couple thousand miles on it. So I've been riding the crap out of it.
Yeah, he couldn't take the heat, so he literally got out of the kitchen and went to some place where it's actually tolerable in the summer. Yeah, I got to ride that GSX 8S, the whole video, which is on the channel. And that bike is sweet. It is a ton of fun. A really enjoyable ride, I would say.
Is it a canyon carver? Are you carving canyons, Josh?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, I'd take it to the track. I mean, the suspension is not like everything you want, but I'll probably get it there. It's totally fine. And it's a balanced bike. That's kind of like, I bought it, like I ordered it before they were even in dealerships, because I kind of just went on faith and trusted Suzuki. I was like, look, everything that's on this piece of paper looks good, and I'm going to kind of trust you that I'll like it. And it worked out, but it could have definitely backfired on me.
It is the ultimate in classic Suzuki energy. Basically, what they did was they were like, we're going to make a motorcycle, and it's not going to have a single problem, and it's not going to have a single thing that stands out, and it's going to sell really, really well. It's exactly what Suzuki has been doing forever, and the motor is bulletproof. It sounds great. Even with the stock pipe on it, it sounded pretty darn good. And I would say out of the box, you're hard-pressed to find a better bike for like, what is it, $8,600, $8,700, something like that?
Yep. Yeah. You know, some dealerships are not even moving them that well right now. So I've seen some people get some discounts on them already.
That's insane that they can't move them. And this is the best part about having Josh on right now, because he's literally inside the Borg. He's got so much insight that like neither of us can get.
We're like, what do you mean they're not selling? They should always sell.
Yeah, how could the GSX 8S not be selling right now with it being so cheap and so like just perfectly adequate? I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get into it in an episode here pretty quickly, but everything's a little bit down in power sports. But
I've got a lot to say.
Oh yeah, that is going to be episode 2. So sit tight for that one. We're going to finish out our introductions here. But kicking it back to you, Whitney, what bikes do you have in the stable, and where are you going with motorcycles? Because I know one of them is currently, its head is sitting on the chopping block waiting for the axe.
Yeah, for like, 6 months now? So I had a beautiful fleet of neo-retro, like I went balls deep. Like the second you saw a wave of neo-retro bikes hitting the market, I was there buying every single one. I had an XSR 900, I had a Ducati Scrambler, I had a BMW R9T, I had a Husqvarna 701 that I rode home in the snow. But now I've totally overdosed on that. It was great. It was beautiful. They're sexy bikes. Now get the hell away from me. Like, now I want to diversify my riding, so I am 100% going to get a YZ 250. I don't know what's the X or the F.
X, I think, is the motocross, and then F is the dual sport.
No, they have X is motocross. The FX is the cross country bike, is technically what it is. So it's made for fast riding in multiple different types of terrain, like trails and stuff, but it's not an enduro bike.
I always come back to the YZ.
Mm-hmm.
I've ridden a lot of them now at Spokes. Did you know we could bring any bike there we want?
Yeah, that's why I'm getting my Hawk fixed. And then I'm going to take the Hawk there. It's definitely got a bent rim. The front rim is definitely bent on it. But I don't care, and I'm going to take it to Spokes, and it's going to have all of like 12 horsepower, and I don't care.
I am now at a point in my riding, as I have more kids, I want to load the bike up. I want to drive to the place. I want to have fun, and then I want to sit in an AC goddamn conditioned car on the way back. Yep. Like, I want to live that life. I want the camper with the juice boxes and the grills, and like I'm just watching other people at Spokes do that, and I'm like, am I fucking up? And my instructor was like, yeah, you're fucking up. What are you doing? I was like, I don't know, but that's the life I want to live. So diversifying riding, because I always just envisioned being 50, I'm going to ride to Patagonia.
Right.
You can't do that unless you've ridden off-road before. Mm-hmm. So now I'm going backwards. So goodbye R9T, Svart Peeling stays for now. XSR is gone. And then motocross bike is next.
Are you going to add another street bike, or are you just going to keep the Svart as your road bike?
I'm always like, man, I saw an MT10 yesterday. I was like, yo. It was all decked out at the coffee shop. And I admired him just riding to the coffee shop on a MT10. Sometimes I think about that. You rode a dad bike at AF1. It had the panniers, MT10.
It was full dad mode, and it was $10,000.
Oh.
Wow.
It had full shad panniers. I don't know if it had a top box or not, but it definitely had a plate that you could put a top box on, so you could get the full suite of hard bags. It had a tall windscreen. It even had the like mushy grips, the like anti-vibe mushy grips on it.
Dude, pure comfort.
With cruise control and all that fun stuff. And it was like from 2018. It was the last gen before they did the whole like facelift and added the TFT and all the like fancy bullshit that you don't need.
So
it's still just an R1.
I might dabble and like get one of those for a little bit. It doesn't make sense. Right now I'm just trying to focus on dirt bike riding.
I saw your Tuono video. Are you going to get a Tuono?
No, God, no. Absolutely not. That bike is not for me. I can appreciate it for what it is, but not for me.
It's so vicious.
Do you know how comfortable it was being 6 months pregnant riding that goddamn thing? It was like, get me the fuck off this stupid bike.
I'm sure it was just awesome to ride.
It's so effortless. I mean, it's a great time to be alive. Once again, episode 2. Go on to episode 2. I'm gonna keep it in, but what do you got in the stable? You can do.
Oh my God!
Park your goddamn cars in your garage.
I can't. No, so the cars live outside because they're the mules that. And if you saw when you walked up behind the van, it's just leaking oil all over my brand new driveway. But
you're christening it.
Yeah, you know what? It's a Ford. It just marks its territory. What are you gonna do? So yeah, for those of you who don't know. I have a YouTube channel called Spite's Corner. It's where I do all kinds of stuff. I review bikes. I am currently wrenching on a Hawk 250, which is a ton of fun. People don't seem to be loving it, which is a little odd. Maybe they just aren't a big fan of off-road riding, and who knows. But I've been doing a whole bunch of stuff this last year. I've been traveling. I've been going to events. Josh almost broke my arm in Utah on a FE 501. I'm going to blame that accident on you and not me.
Oh,
I'm going to keep trying.
I went and did some stuff with the folks from Ride Adventures. I've been doing all kinds of fun, awesome solo projects. Whitney, you and I have been working together. Josh, you and I have been working together. All kinds of cool videos too. There's not a single motorcycle that I won't touch aside from a Versa 650. And
that's right.
I gotta show you. I got a cup I have to show you because it's really funny. And you know, I like goofing around with all kinds of motorcycles. And currently in the garage there are 6 motorcycles. There's my fiance's Harley, which used to be mine. It's a street rod, 2017.
That's not going anywhere.
That's not going well, unless she wants to sell it. It's her bike, not mine. Then I've got next to it is my Ducati Hyperstrada. That one may currently be on the chopping block to be replaced.
You know, once something is thought about being on the chopping block, it's game over.
It may be replaced by a Moto Guzzi Grigio 1200. So, because there's currently one at AF1 Racing. I'm going to go.
And it's calling your name.
It's calling. Because it's a Moto Guzzi Grigio. You never see them anywhere. And they happen to have an 1100 and a 1200 right now.
They have 2?
They have 2.
Oh, dude, AF1 rips.
AF1 is awesome. They're one of they're the reason I get my hands on so many different bikes. And they're awesome. They're an awesome dealership too. Not paying me anything to say that. I just believe it. I've bought my Ducati from them. I've been working with them forever.
It's a dealership owned by enthusiasts and not like a faceless, soulless corporation.
And you can tell.
Yeah.
So I bought my Ducati there. It's a 821 Hyperstrada 2013. Rode that one across the country and back, and I've been having a lot of fun with it, but it is a Ducati. It's a little temperamental. Currently, it's got an engine code. I'm pretty sure that is just because the exhaust is the air-fuel ratio is just so out of whack because it was so hot. I think if I put my old exhaust back on, it'll clear off because it's intermittent. because it's Ducatis. So and then next to that is my KLR 650, which is a 2022 that I bought because I wanted an adventure bike so bad.
And it looks like a 1986.
It looks like a 1986 with a Z900 headlight.
Yeah.
It's and it still has the same motor. Ton of fun. I've taken it. I just recently took it up to Sturgis and rode off-road with it. I did that last year. I've ridden it all over the country too. I took that one to Atlanta and back.
You've binned it.
I've binned it a lot. I've binned it a lot. It got used as an adventure bike, but it's still in great shape. Absolutely love that thing. But it may be on the chopping block as well, just because there are 6 motorcycles in there, and I can barely fit them all in my garage. It's a 2-car garage, and the rest of it is set up for filming. Then next to that is a Livewire 1, which is not mine. It's been...
Thank God.
Thank God. It's been lent to me by Livewire because they wanted me to check out their bike. They wanted some reviews, and
They
they
wanted
just were
you
like,
to piss off your fan base is what they wanted.
well, you know what? I'm perfectly capable of doing that on my own. Thank you very much. I genuinely like electric motorcycles. I think they're really cool. They're so much fun to ride. And if I had more room and they were cheap enough, sure, I'd buy one. Absolutely. I really like the one. It's a lot of fun. And I actually have a video coming out maybe tomorrow, maybe Tuesday at time of filming, of I put my buddy Ben, who's never ridden one, for the first time, and he owns an MT-09 SP, and he had a great time riding it.
Damn.
So it's going to be a cool video. And then next to that is a 2003, I believe. Honda Hornets are always like 2007 era for me.
Yeah, you got that sweet little gem in there.
Yeah, I've got the 2003 Honda Hornet, which was actually given to me by a fan of the channel. His name is Alex. And again, Alex, if you're watching this and you ever decide that you want it back, it is here for you, man.
It is not here for you. I'm going to take it. Because I rode it the last time we were riding. I was like, God damn, this is a sweet bike.
Whitney will fight you to the
I'll
death
fight
over
you for
it. And I had a personal history with that motorcycle. I owned an 07 for a year, and it had a throttle position sensor issue, and I had to get rid of it. But it's the one that got away for me. It's the motorcycle that got away. Now it's back in the garage, and it's not going anywhere. And then next to that is a RPS Hawk 250, which
which you got for free?
no, I paid $800 for it.
You bought it from...
I bought it from Dork in the Road.
Okay.
And you drove across the country to go get it too.
Yeah.
I drove 7,000 miles to go buy this motorcycle. I probably spent as much money in gas as I did on the motorcycle. And Dork in the Road's brother crashed it into a rock in fairly spectacular form. And if you're watching, the video is probably going live right now. And he was fine. He's totally fine. He crashed it. And then he never rode it. He got all the stuff to fix it. It needed a new fork. It needed a new dash. It needed all sorts of stuff.
Oh, that sounds like a spectacular crash.
Yeah, it was. Have you not seen the clip?
No, I haven't.
Oh, I got to show you after we get done here. It's rough. And I've just been slowly rebuilding it because I just wanted a light dual sport that I could fuck around with.
Right.
It's cheap, and you know what? If I end up spending more on it than it's worth, I don't really care. I'm just having fun with it.
Yeah.
And I want to go ride a smaller bike. I've done my big bike stuff. I really like riding adventure bikes. I'm terrible at it, but it's fun. I really enjoy riding ADV. But I'd like to do some lightweight dual sport stuff. And then in a few weeks, in theory, I will be adding bike number 7 to the stable. Hopefully, it will be replacing the Livewire. And that one is actually just going to be a Solar Eclipse, which is a 72-volt electric dirt bike.
Was that the one that you rode with Derek?
Very close.
Oh, okay.
It's very close in size. So it's like a giant mountain bike, essentially.
Was it fun?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
They're really fun bikes. And that'll be in the stable, too. So I will have a lot of bikes in there. But I'm probably going to get rid of 2 of them. I'm going to try to maybe replace one with the Grizo.
You know what I always, we left a gigantic motorcycle channel that firmly said we are not doing dirt bike content anymore. And all three of us were like, I gotta go. Like all three of us were like, oh man, we can't have fun anymore.
I mean, just riding off-road is the best. And Josh has been goofing off on all those Teneres that are in your rental fleet, right?
Yeah, but we had to break in 4 of them that we had just built, and we had a group coming from New Zealand who just got back yesterday, actually. And there was a group of 6 of them, and they rented them for 2 weeks. And they just went and rode 3,500 miles. But we had to break 4 new ones in that we were adding to the fleet. And so my job was it was tough. It was tough. I had to go put, a couple hundred miles on each of them. And
you hired a group of people, or they just happened to rent them?
No, they rented them from us.
Okay. So it's not like you had professional Tenere 700 bike breaker inners come in and break them in.
Nope, it was me. I was the professional bike breaker.
Oh, you did that.
Right, I did that.
Oh, and
it was awesome.
2,800 miles of bike break-in?
No. We did an abbreviated break-in period. Yeah,
200.
Most of the breaking in happens in the first 200 miles.
That's fair. Yeah.
But
speaking of
they did great. I mean, it's a Tenere 700. It's not gonna have a single issue, even if you didn't do the first oil change.
Speaking of Tenere 700s, this one should be a fun story. What happened to the one that you rode from? It was like just brand new, uncrated, and then took it up to Sturgis and back, all on the same oil change as that first oil.
Nothing. Not a dang thing happened to it. We changed the oil, put a new air filter in it. It just got back from a 2-week trip with some other dudes. Nothing at all. Yamaha was not, Yamaha does not need its services as bad as some other bikes do. It was feeling a little wonky by the time I got back. I think I was up to 1,500 miles on that thing. And we don't know. Look, we're speculating. We don't fully know exactly, but we're kind of guessing that it didn't get that first change. So the clutch was feeling really like slushy, and it was doing some interesting things.
But then you did the first service, and everything's happy.
Yeah, happy bike.
Sweet. I mean, that's pretty impressive when you consider the fact that a lot of that break-in oil it gets nasty fast.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. And we were like riding in dirt and stuff, and it wasn't just like it went and commuted for a few weeks too long. It was like I was definitely riding it and getting to Denver to Sturgis at 90 miles an hour as much as I could.
Yeah, you're not exactly known for being the most
casual rider.
Yeah, most pleasant to your motorcycles.
Exactly. Yep. They live a hard life.
I mean, I pulled the oil out of the Hawk. So the Hawk had 0 miles when it came to Dork in the Road's brother. He bought it brand new, 0 miles, uncrated it, put it together himself, set it up, and that's how they come. And they come with just whatever break-in oil you get from RPS, the Chinese factory. After 60 miles, that oil was disgusting in there.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, so I dropped the oil and I actually had to adjust the valves on it too. Damn. The valves were a little too tight, so I pulled the valve cover off and spent some time adjusting the valves. I need to change, because I put a brand new carburetor on it, I need to change the power jet. But yeah, the break-in oil that came in the Chinese bike, if it had done 600 miles on that, no thank you.
Yep.
So if you're gonna break in a motorcycle, especially a Chinese one, you might want to consider swapping the oil. If it's Tenere, you're gonna be fine. Just never change the oil, you'll be fine.
Yeah, small displacement stuff gets away with quite a bit, though. I mean, the tolerance are loose, the compression is less, and you can get away with, I don't know, terrible things. Or if it's a Yamaha, I'd give it to them too.
I'm really interested to see what this Hawk can do after I fix it up and get it out riding. Because right now it rides fine. It's just when you get it on the power jet, it starts to stumble a little bit. Once you get it up in the higher RPMs, it's just not getting enough gas. So it feels like it's hitting the like RPM cut, but I know it's a couple thousand revs short. So I need to change that power jet. Just a couple little tweaks to the carburetor, and fingers crossed it'll be okay. But it's so spongy. It's really fun. it's like you're going down
low stakes.
Yeah, you're going down a dirt road in a Caprice Classic.
Yeah,
it's like bouncing all over the place, and it's light. And if it hits the ground, I don't care.
That's a good feeling to be able to ride with that ease of knowing that you're not going to have to, you're not going to really suffer major consequences if something goes really wrong, whether it's another bike or it's one of yours that you just have kind of committed to that kind of abuse.
Yeah, exactly. This one, I just don't care.
Did you like the FE?
The FE 501, not really. So the FE 501 is a phenomenal motorcycle. I'll say that before.
See a lot of people on them.
Yeah. So before I start bashing it, let me say that the FE 501 is a phenomenal bike. It is fast. It's aggressive. It's light. It's expensive as fuck.
How much is it?
Josh? FE
They're about 12,000 new, $12,000 or somewhere in there.
I was about to guess 12 grand.
Oh, that's way too much for a dirt bike. I would never pay that much for a dirt bike.
So why do so many people have them?
Because they're awesome.
Because they're rich? They're rich off-roaders? Or are they just... Or is it going to last in your stable? Is it the thing that you just love and you don't care how much it is?
I think a lot of guys around here are wealthy off-road riders. They're the kind of guys who just have the money to burn on a $12,000 off-road bike.
All right.
You can also get them decently cheap in used, but buying a used dirt bike is a lot like buying a 13-year-old dog that's like incontinent.
You want to play stupid games, like you got to know what's coming.
Dirt bike riders do horrible, terrible things to their bikes.
Yeah. And dirt bikes take a lot more maintenance than a street bike usually does.
Especially that FE. That FE is...
Well, yeah, don't they calculate it in hours?
Mm-hmm.
Like when I was looking at used dirt bike, like, this is how many hours are on it. I was like, what?
Yeah, because they don't have odometers on them. I don't think. Because a lot of them don't have speedos.
Right.
So, yeah, FE 501, great motorcycle. Now, let me say the bad stuff. It is incredibly aggressive. It like you snap the throttle open, it's gone. It picks up pace so fast. It's so snatchy. It's so aggressive. It's like...
Would you go ride St. George, Utah with it?
I mean, so I rode it in Colorado with Josh when I did that big off-road thing, and then I busted my ass in a puddle because it was so aggressive.
But do you think that's because you're coming from the ADV realm, you're coming from the KLR realm, you know, like you're stepping down, but now suddenly it's like a whole different beast.
Yeah, and ADV skills don't really translate super well to dirt bikes. Like,
I found that out the hard way too. I was like, oh, okay, I suck.
Yeah, like stuff you can learn on an ADV bike. When I was talking to Dallas from Traction E-Rag, he told me the same thing. He's like, yeah, ADV bike skills are awesome, and dirt bike skills will transfer up. ADV skills do not go down.
Right.
So you're coming...
Especially from the Pan Am.
Especially from the Pan Am,
That thing's doing all the work for you, and you're like, this is amazing. And then I got on a GS and crashed 800,000 times. I was like, wow. I can't ride at all.
We got to... Josh, now that you're working with the guys from Ride ADV, we got to get Whitney up there.
Oh, it'd be so much fun.
You would self-actualize out there. They're awesome.
Well, you were showing me the Las Vegas, like the whole thing. I was like, yes, that looks amazing.
I'm not sure if they're going to keep doing Vegas, but they should, because riding off in Vegas was so much fun.
Yeah.
I really liked Vegas.
The plan is for Vegas to continue. It's changing the course of the location, facilities changed up a little bit, but it's still going to keep going on. But they're doing it there and in Bend, Oregon.
Because when I was there with them in Vegas, we did the Bitter Springs off-road ride. Unbelievable. It was so much fun. And the toughest part was actually like loose pebbles. They were like loose marble-sized pebbles that were kind of deep. That was kind of a fun challenge. And then the rest of it was just nice, flowy, wide, off-road, slightly sandy, rocky stuff.
Yeah.
killer. So much fun. And then the like off-road park that we went to, the OHV, there was some pretty nasty stuff in there that we went through. Nothing that was like, oh, I'm gonna die, but some stuff that was like, oh, I'm working now.
That's the fun part. I think that's what keeps people going back to dirt bike riding, is not dying.
Yes.
You're like, yes! You're like, it's so satiating after you ride. Like when I was in a Tenere in the sand, hitting like giant pits and keeping it upright, you feel like fucking Superman. You're
Yeah, it's awesome.
And that's what keeps you coming back.
And I think that that's probably the thing that we've all sort of come to, is the realization that you just don't get that experience on the street.
No.
You know,
Well, and you're gonna die. Like,
Yeah.
It's ultra high stakes.
if you lose
Yeah.
your back end, you die. Like,
yep, you're in a guardrail, you're under a big 18-wheeler, you're not having fun.
yeah.
Riding
Or
is just,
the track, you can get close. You get a lot of those same sensations at the track, but that's expensive. I can't keep that hobby up.
I'm tempted to see if I can negotiate a way into like some track around here. Maybe go up to Crescent and see if I can get like a membership that's not
Crescent
outrageous.
or 316 track days. That's run by a local group, and they do all the tracks too.
I think they're a little Jesus-y for me.
Well, just put on a damn. Come on, it's track day riding. Put on a cross, put on your crown of thorns and your toga, and just go with it. Dude, I'll sign up for whatever religion if you're gonna give me a deal.
Yeah. You get track days.
Dude, yeah, track day. I'm Hindu suddenly. Yeah, like whatever.
There you go. That's if you want to start converting people, if you're going to learn anything from this episode of the podcast, the way to convert people to whatever religion you got, offer free track days.
Track days. I'm there. What do you need me to pray to?
All right, so we're running up on 34 minutes here, so I figure we start wrapping up this intro video. This has just kind of been a nice conversation, getting everybody.
There's so much to talk about. I've never had to just cut the throttle on like so many different tangents.
We could literally go on for hours, and we will.
We will.
In the next episode, but just a reminder, if you're here, all of everybody's social media stuff is down in the description below. You're going to be able to find Whitney's channel, Josh's stuff, my stuff. Before we sign off, remind everybody where they can find you. So Whitney first.
You can find me at Whitney Does on YouTube and Instagram.
Josh?
My Instagram is Suzuki Simp. You could also follow the GeForce page and see a lot of work that I do there. Yeah, Jake?
Josh takes a ton of pretty photos too. If
Yes.
you want them pretty photos about motorcycles, Josh has got you covered.
Fly Josh out and have him take pics.
Yeah, he's.
I've been known to dabble with the camera.
And then you can find me for mediocre motorcycle reviews at Spite's Corner here on YouTube. And then if you want very mediocre photos taken on a cell phone, you can follow me on Instagram. Occasionally, I will post some other guitar-related shit because all of this stuff back here.
It's your passion.
Yeah, that's what I do when I'm not filming. So yeah, you can see just this. None of the. It may look expensive. None of this was more than $400. So each individual piece of gear very cheap, but it looks really cool in the background. So that's why I want to film in here. And with that, I think we're gonna call this the first episode of season 2, the reawakening, the rejoining of Bottom Sprocket here. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode where we're going to go off on
I'm ready.
all kinds of motorcycle industry happenings. So stay tuned for that. And we'll catch you guys in the next one.